I had the chance to make a similar presentation for Matomo Camp France last summer. And in the presentation of last summer, the feedback from the audience was that it was not practical enough. So I decided to redo this conference, this time in English, but by adding some use case examples, some demo to be precise. So the conference goal is to show the different progress I perform. When I say I perform, in fact, it's we perform because I'm not doing everything on my own. Most of the advancement that I'm doing when it comes to AI, I'm doing them with Ronan. So I would like to say thank you to Ronan, who is currently moderating room number 2. If you don't have the chance to see him, feel free to add him on LinkedIn. And I really would like as well to say thank you to Vincent Terrassi and his team, because those are the guys who are helping us doing consulting when it comes to AI. So those two names are getting famous, let's say. Feel free to have a look at what they're posting on LinkedIn. About myself and experience when it comes to AI. So my name is Ronan as well. I'm currently the customer success manager at Matomo and as well customer experience manager at Matomo. What does CSM stand for? It means that I'm here in order to help Matomo's clients to get the most of Matomo, and I try to introduce myself as the guy who is trying to find on earth who has the expertise in order to fix the issue of our end user, whatever this issue is about. Finding a partner, generating more revenue with Matomo, fixing a bug, whatever you can think of, my role is to find the right person able to help them. Customer experience is more about understanding the issues that our clients are facing, listening to their pain, and then transcribing all of those into how could we improve the product. That's how I describe CX. I'm the co-creator of the Matomo Camp concept. I wrote several books. I want Matomo to grow, and when it comes to this, let's say, conference, I had the chance to publish 2 courses about the use of Matomo and AI. You can find those courses on Udemy. So in Udemy, you cannot find them like this because I released them for free, or at least as free tutorial. So it means like when you search within Udemy, you cannot find them right away. You need to play with the filter and mention that you want to get only the free one. If not, that's not going to work. So what you need to do is like when you are over here in the search, for example, here, if you look for Matomo, okay, you need afterwards to change over here because they just show the paid one, and you need to look for the price and free, and then you will get the 2 free classes that I opened up. They are all working quite well. As you can see, I have about 600 students for Matomo and ChatGPT. And regarding the other one, I'm roughly around 500. So the other one is Mistral and Matomo. So to say that AI is a very trendy topic. I precise that those courses are not exceptional, but probably will give you enough information in order to get started. My experience about AI is the following one. It's just a passion. So as many people who are fond of IT, it's just about testing the technologies. I had the chance to follow this course that I strongly recommend you to purchase. So that's the one. You can already get it at a discount on Udemy, so to say at 10 euro. And as you can see for the number of ratings and the number of students, this is a really, really good one. You probably have more hours of video that's what you need. So as you can see, it's 26 hours of video. It's tackling all the different aspects, and you really come from, you are really going to switch from a traditional ChatGPT user to a really good user of ChatGPT. So I strongly recommend you to have a look at this course and invest in it. They are not paying me back for saying this. It's just that I followed this course and I just found it extraordinary. What I'm going to talk today, several things is first, I will give a definition of generative AI so that you can have a global understanding of what AI is about. What we succeed in achieving as a community member of Matomo when it comes to AI, and how do we see the future of Matomo when it comes to AI. So definition first, what is generative AI? So I precise that this is more like my own definition. If you have no idea what is generative AI, consider it as a system, okay? A system, let's say a robot or whatever. It's an information system that has absorbed an incalculable number of contents, let's say book. So I like this image, in fact. It's like something which has stored, in fact, the content of all the books that it can find, the books being, of course, the web, and which is capable of generating content based on these books. So let's say the number of time a given occurrence is gonna be, okay, the sequence. Then there's kind of a probabilistic system, which is gonna say, hey, because this sentence has appeared that many times within those books, then we guess that the next word of this sentence is gonna be this one. About AI, we have the feeling that it's super technical, but that's not that technical. As far as we understood that something which has not been read yet cannot be generated, then we start to understand the limits of AI, and then as well we can start off understanding what it can easily do, which will take a human more time to do. So overall, mastering an AI to me is more like this given picture. I don't know if you remember this movie, which is about if you ask the right question. So in AI, this is what we call a prompt. Okay, so if your request is good, you get the right answer. Okay, as far as, of course, you understand that the AI to whom you are asking the question to get the information somewhere. Okay, so if you are smart enough, you can already guess if the AI is going to answer you something correct or not, because you know, for example, that the type of content that you are currently asking for, the AI has an access to. However, if, for example, you are making a prompt request of something that you know by heart, that the information is hidden or at least cannot be accessible unless you get a login and password, then you know that you have high doubt about the quality of the answer that the AI is going to give you. Here is a typical use case of what we call prompt engineering, which is somehow the skills of being able to craft some prompts. So this is a chat-based prompt. You are a Matomo expert and you know everything about it. By using, in fact, this given prompt, you are, in fact, giving the information to the AI that you want all the answers which are going to be given to be about Matomo and not any other topics. The current screenshot that I'm showing you here is coming from an AI plugin that we created with Ronan that you can find if you have a Matomo on-prem installation. And this is typically what you're going to do if you go over here within the system part, general settings. And over here, you get the chat-based prompt. So by saying you are a Matomo expert and know everything about digital analytics, your answer should be complete and precise. What's going to happen is, like, if you have a chat-based prompt like this, if you ask a question to ChatGPT, it should not be able to answer you properly. So you say, hey, I have a fever. How can I reduce it? Okay. So typically here, it should be able to say, but what the hell are you talking about? I'm a Matomo expert. So my role is to be about Matomo and it's not about something else. But of course, if you change this out, so maybe doctor is not the best example, but let's imagine now that I'm a doctor, okay? So you are a doctor and know everything about fever reduction. Your answer should be complete and precise. Honestly, I'm not sure. I should better have taken a gardener because as doctor can be a tricky subject. It's tricky. Let's see. Okay, so here, as you can see now, the answer is getting different because, of course, the base prompt was different. We just asked it to go and fetch other information. To know more about how to craft great prompts, please just have a look at this Udemy course that I was mentioning, which, as I tell you before, is incredible. Okay, that's the same thing. Now let's understand the role of AI when it comes to Matomo. So I try to sum it up what Matomo is for, let's say, a Matomo user. So Matomo is a tracker that you insert on some pages. When these trackers get loaded, it's feeding data to a database. Then, thanks to a bunch of scripts, you are querying, thanks to the user interface, the database, and you get your data. When it comes to the AI, typically you are not going to use much as a tracker because that belongs more to the webmastering. Okay. Typically, how to craft a great tracking code for your website does more belong to the use of your CMS, so to say Drupal, WordPress, or whatever, because you want the control, the AI, to act on the source code of your website. And with Matomo, unless you are doing it on the Matomo Content Manager, Matomo Tag Manager, that's not where you will act. So mostly the AI, you want it to act over here. So either by using it at the database level, so this is what we're going to see within this conference, or either through the user interface, because you don't want to play with the PHP script at all, as it could ruin your website. So that's what it is about. So example of things that we succeed to achieve so far. How to perform some task with AI, how to, let's say, take advantage of the API of Matomo in order to add user creating reports. Just to let you know that so far we are mostly doing this by using scripts of Mistral AI in ChatGPT, but not directly within Matomo. But that's typically something that we are currently working on. The best way we can see it at the moment is by using Python and to have an AI agent playing as a Python agent, let's say. Data analysis, so understanding what the report are saying, and let's say a bit everything which can be done with a computer. So what have been made so far in terms of plugins? So there are currently 3 plugins as far as I know, which are available on the marketplace. ChatGPT and Mistral AI plugins, which are both copy of each other, let's say. And Ask Your Database, which is using more like what we call an iframe technology. So ChatGPT and Mistral AI are both community plugins that you can find on the marketplace. You cannot have them yet on the cloud, so those are only for on-premise end users. Those 2 are for free, okay? But of course, they work with the API of Mistral AI and ChatGPT, which are, of course, paid API. Doesn't cost much, but just to let you know that you need to put credits on both, and that the more complicated your request is, the more the AI will charge for you. Let's demo those 2 plugins. So of course, what you need to have first is the plugin. So you need to go on plugin.matomo.org, and you will find those two plugins directly over here. So if you go down, you see iSecure database over here, and Mistral AI and ChatGPT. As you can see, both are quite popular in terms of downloads. We are already close to 30,000 downloads for a plugin which has been created this year. So it's getting really popular in terms of Mistral. As you can see, it's as well quite popular. So let's see it in action. Once you install it on your website, you will get an access to a new UI that I show you. Note as well that those plugins can be set as well at the measurable level. So before I just show you it at the system level, but you can also configure them over here at the website level. In my case, I'm going to just stick to the system level. So here it's automatically filled in. Then you need to enter your API, and then you can choose your model. So the more powerful the model is, the more it's going to cost you some money. Typically here for the use case, I'm going to show you 3.5 turbo will be helpful. If you want to get more level, what you need to do is you need to go over here on GitHub on the repository of Mistral or ChatGPT, and you need to add some feature requests so that the developer, so to say Ronan Hello, will be able afterwards to add those. Then in order to use those plugins, you need to enter the chat-based prompt. So as you can see where I set it is as a doctor, then ChatGPT became a doctor. And then you can as well give more information here for ChatGPT to work better around the prompt that you're going to make. Once you have set those two options, you are getting over here the different agents. So those are not changing much from what you are used to see when you are using ChatGPT. So let's say using it over here, rather than going on ChatGPT, let's say with Microsoft Edge, the only difference that here is going to cost you money because you are going to use the API of ChatGPT. So in my case here, it's still configured as a doctor. So I'm a bit curious about what is gonna happen. And the magic of those plugins is not only about integrating an AI, and just to let you know that so far those AI agents are not plugged on Matomo. Okay, so if you say how many visits I got on my site last week, won't be able to answer. And actually, in my case, it's still a doctor, so it's not gonna help. But if you ask it about the number of visits, you will see you are Matomo expert. Know everything about it. Okay, so and if I go back over here, so same questions. So now he's no more a doctor. As you can see, he won't be able to do it. He's going to tell me, oh, okay, but you need to do this and to do that. It's a bit more complicated to code it and to have it reading your data. However, what we succeed to achieve is based on the data which are displayed over here in Matomo. And for some reports, you can just go over here and tell him to chat about those data. If you click over here, it's gonna look at the data, it's gonna export those data, send them to ChatGPT or Mistral AI, and it's gonna make the analysis for you. So if you say, hey, which device is the most interesting for me? Which device is the most interesting for me. Then it's gonna make the mathematics for you and provide you with the data that you want. So that's super interesting. And then you can even play a bit more with this and say like recreate this table by adding the temperature in Vienna. I don't know why I'm saying this, but the idea is just to show you that it's super interesting because it can go and add device total visits, blah, blah, blah. Just give fake number. Don't give fake number. Funnily is not doing it. Okay, so make table with model in column 1. Let's say number of users in the world for each. Let's see if it's gonna work this way. Okay, those are fake numbers as well, but the idea is the following one: is like you can really use the agent in order to go and take some third-party data, include them, do the same thing in terms of what we call custom metrics. So let's say measuring things which were not measured before. So let's take, for example, okay, now take the device model visits and add a second column which divide the visits per 3. And let's see what's gonna happen. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it's dividing the number by 3. So that's really what is magical with the AI, is like it can transform the data that you have over here and to play as an agent in order to do to perform what you want. So typically what you can do is really give it a try, have it a go, and see how far you can go in terms of creating new report based on this agent. Unfortunately, there are still things that we cannot do yet. So for example, okay, provide me with a link to download it. It's typically the kind of thing that is not yet able to provide you with. However, if you are smart enough, you can of course ask it to give you in a format that you can easily copy and paste for a spreadsheet or whatever other technology. So to say, that's super interesting because you can easily use it and tune it in order, in one click, to just scan your report and tell you what is going right or what is going wrong. Typically, you can really use it as an assistant. So let's imagine, for example, that the people using your Matomo are not super techy and that they would like to get more information about what this report means. Tell me what this report is about. And let's imagine that the language is not good in Italian, then of course you will be able to make the work and give you the information about it. So in fact, it's really here doing the job of ChatGPT, but linked with Matomo data. So compared to what we had over here in those modes, it was more like generical. Here, it definitely had the context in which you are creating it. The drawback of these methods is like, I think it's due to the way that the reports are made in Matomo. It's only possible to get it for the archive reports. You cannot get it for the visit logs, for example. On see the link. You cannot get it yet as well for the dashboard because it's working differently. So you can only get it for the archive reports, and that's it. But I have to say that it's kind of a super smart plugin, and you can already go quite far with it. The next plugin that I wanted to show you is Ask Your Database. So Ask Your Database, it's a third-party technology. Okay, so third-party technology means that you are getting out of Matomo, and it's a service which is specialized in MySQL in particular. So far, the data that we were playing with, the two plugins that I was showing you, were based on the Matomo data, which were within the user interface of Matomo. But there is a second way that we can access to the data of Matomo is by using the database. And that's typically what this plugin is about. So Ask Your Database is before all the following technology that you can see here. So you need to go on the website, create an account. Maybe they still have some free account. And then when you do so, you can create a chatbot. And then that's mostly kind of the equivalent of what you have with a custom GPT. And here you need to inform about your MySQL database. You need to link it to your database. So of course, this is not something that you do without how to say. This is there's high security concern here. Okay, so typically, if you are a decent company, you may be reluctant to make this connection because probably your IT service will not know what is askyourdatabase.com and will ask, of course, some warranty to Ask Your Database in order to see if it's secure enough to use this service. In my case, that's just for test purposes, so I decided to use it. So I'm linking, in fact, my MySQL database to this service named Ask Your Database. And then what is great with Ask Your Database is like you can provide it with what we call the documentation. So the database of Matomo, and I will give another conference about it, is, let's say, it's a place where you have different tables which are not linked with each other, and you need to be able to link them with what we call MySQL, with SQL queries, which is a programming language, in order to be able to make them talk with each other. So let's say you have your visits, which are in one given table, and you have the actions which have been performed by your visitors during their visits, which are in another table, and you need to write the query in order to ask to the database to link the two of them in order to give you the answer that you expect. And as the AI agent of Ask Your Database, which is in fact OpenAI, doesn't know very well the Matomo database, you need to pass it the documentation so that you will be able afterward to have a chatbot which is efficient. And once you do so, in fact you can even skip this part, I will say, because the more OpenAI knows how the database of Matomo is structured, the less times it will query it. But if you see that when you query the bot, the results get funny, then this is where you need to use this SQL example or documentation or even here the knowledge base in order for Ask Your Database to not deliver, let's say, answers which are getting funny. Okay, let's see it in practice. So once you install the plugin, so same thing, you go on the marketplace, and then once you go into the marketplace, Ask Your Database through the AI of Matomo, it's going to ask you to link the two. So you create what we call a token. And once the token is generated, you just copy and paste it. So this is what we have over here. Okay. And then you can start to play with it. So when you click over here and ask your database, in fact, it's querying directly your Matomo database with the questions that you want to ask it. So you say, okay, how many visits I got on my website last month? So here, compared to what we had before, the agent knows my Matomo because it's directly plugged in on my Matomo database. So as a result, I'm getting those information, which wasn't the case before when I was using the ChatGPT or Mistral AI plugin, unless I was playing with the archive data. As you can see, it's a bit too long, but let's wait for the answer. Okay. Okay, as it's a bit too long, I'm going to just refresh my page. And I'm going to precise a bit more. As for website site ID 1 and last month, I'm going to precise that it's October 2024. Okay, you had 307 visits on your website for ID. Okay, so okay, can you make a pie chart of the number of visits of October 2004 and September 2024 of site ID 1. I never tested it, but let's see. Let's see if that works. Here, what I would like to show you is like with Ask Your Database, you can also make some data visualization, which is super cool. Let's just see now if it's going to make it. I never tested it for multiple websites, but my guess is that it will work because the database is still the same. So, okay. So here, as you can see, it's working. I have no idea why it makes two. Download the visit distribution pie chart. No, I prefer to output data as a CSV to download. And here, as it's a third-party player, it can, in fact, have the place to host the data, and you can have them. You see, so it's kind of extraordinary because here you can really use all the power of an AI in order to really tweak and make great reports. So let's imagine, for example, that you would like to create a custom report based on the visit log table, create new table report with the what we could do with the source of traffic in the first column. The device type in the second, the time of visit in the third, the OS in the fourth, and the number of visits in the fifth. What can I do? Add me 6 column. Okay. So here, as you can see, I'm asking for creating a report which does not exist in Matomo. Firstly, because there's a combination of different dimension, and next thing is like I'm asking to create that's a column which does not exist at all. So show it to me. So as you can see here, well, unfortunately, I did not precise the date time, but we are getting it, as you can see. And this is what is super great, because you can really do whatever you want. The big issue that I'm seeing here is, as the information are coming from the database, they are different from what you are seeing within the user interface of Matomo. So for example, instead of Linux, as you can see, it's written LIN, which is somehow incomplete, but you can maybe ask it to fix it. Fix US column by guessing the right name of the OS. So that's the issue when you are using the database, it's like it's incomplete. But for the rest, as you can see, it's really impressive, because you can ask whatever you want. And of course, that's typically what you expect to have with AI. So here, as you can see, it's now cleaning up my my report to get exactly what I want. Can you make a burst out of it? And yeah, I'm gonna try this. Last time I tried with the sunburst, I wasn't able to do it because the sunburst is not a data visualization, which is often used in web analytics, but some software do have it. So let's see if it's able to make it. Here, my point is like you can really go beyond traditional data visualization system. Okay, maybe it's going to take a while before getting the answer. Okay, but I think you get the point. So if you are not scared about it, or if you have some test website, feel free to give it a go, because I think it clearly shows us in which direction AI is going to be within the next month. So that's what I wanted to show you about Ask Your Database. So the important thing with Ask Your Database, as you can understand, is like you cannot go very far if OpenAI doesn't have a good understanding of the database of Matomo. For this, you have, if you go on matomo.org, so it's currently still looking for it. So Matomo SQL queries. So the challenge here is really to be able to use those queries. You can use them with OpenAI and say, hey, based on this query, please tell me how to tweak my query so it can be correct. And then once you have it, go back into Ask Your Database and enrich the documentation so that you can get, in fact, the correct answers which are getting out of Ask Your Database. What will look like the future of Matomo with AI? Here, what I mean by this is what are we currently working in with Ronan. Our main idea for the future is to integrate a local language model into Matomo. Formerly, this conference was supposed to be about Mistral AI, but we didn't find enough time to allocate to it. But so far, the model that we are seeing on the web are which are public, are in fact all blocked due to, of course, market condition of use. But there are some free software license which are released as well, thanks to companies such as Mistral AI, which allow you to use an AI agent without any restriction. And in those contexts, for some specific use cases with Matomo, so for example, data which will be collected, which will be about health information, then you can bypass the limitation that some AI have sometimes, which are telling you, I cannot process the data because they are health data. And you can, in fact, bypass them to, in fact, make the full analysis that you need. So that will probably be subject to another conference we will give. I think it could be interesting as well to use the Matomo for WordPress plugin in order to show how you can use the Matomo within WordPress in order to act directly on WordPress. So let's say creating new pages, revamping some pages. And the next big thing that we are currently working on is how to use Matomo with Python within Matomo. So we currently have a small plugin, but that we did not release yet, where we can, in fact, directly ask questions to the AI. Then the AI is answering in Python, executing the Python, and then showing us the results that we want. So to say that would be the equivalent of Ask Your Database, but by using the API of Matomo. The advantage here will be that there will be somehow no real third-party player except, of course, the AI. And what it will be as well super interesting is that we will be able to use the API not only to create some report, but as well to use all the power of the API. So to say, add me some users, and then the AI will be able to say, hey, I can add users, but I need at least their password. And you will be able to say, okay, create me a measurement plan within Matomo Tag Manager. It has to be simple, just add me 5 tags, and it will be able to make it. So that's really the next big steps that we are currently on, because the AI knows a bit the API of Matomo. But now the big challenge for us is how to integrate this within Matomo so that everything can be done within Matomo, and that the end user can just get, in fact, an input field and then just ask whatever he wants and have his Christmas list, let's say, to which he can say, okay, do me this, and it will automatically do everything. I hope you enjoyed this conference. Thanks for watching. I'm having a look at the question, if there are any in the chat. So I'm looking at the chat, and so it's saying, well, such a great plugin. Shouldn't GPT-4o be better and cheaper than all the previous? Yes, it's just that it has been a while that we didn't work on the plugin. So we didn't have the last model, but I think GPT-4o is available in our plugin. Let me just double check, and of course that's something that we could put by default. Let me just see. Yeah, 4o is currently available. Next question is. So the generative AI is not trained on Matomo sources. No, clearly not. It's a general LLM, so it's another piece of work. Any plan for a custom LLM? Well, the thing is, like, Ronan and myself already have so much to do that it's hard really to find some time. We can give like 30 minutes or 1 hour per week. So we are doing our best here. And of course, it depends as well of the education market. So the more accessible sources are available for us, the more chances we can make an impact. for whatever kind of model loaded, not necessarily Mistral 1, for instance. The question is from Dimitri. I'm not sure that it's for me. I think the question is between you guys. Okay, is it using Python for data analysis? We could definitely use Python for data analysis in the future with the new plugin. Okay, and that's mostly it.